Well, welcome to the Think Tank Show. And you're about to discuss the three topics now. You take it from the but Baswa share now, like, send me a comment. And to us last week, you're very sorry. And to me, I'm also, now a lot of things that I have to take care of, now I'll apologize. I'm very excuse here. But, Mom, share Tuesday, no, me wafa and Dr. For history I know Tuesday no share no so Damasi. I saw some few people Mubasho Wiswa cross bar hospital TV. It's very, very interesting. It is very, very educative. Now some of book now you kind of share be me who be crowd Ghana that. So for us to get an insight into the people that we used to be and San Association was very wonderful. The Tuesday, Musa share view um I think 7 o'clock in the evening for the same thing. Why? Till the watching. Um and next show no, as usual, you better discuss some few issues. First of all, you better discuss employment. Kaka topic we think it's a little bit out of our scope, but and then that PCFM for shenanigans, yeah, I see presenter Oye Juma, she's trying to be a little bit innovative. The colleagues, me and agange upon her now, blasting her on air. Yeah, become once and that's if you're Pukua ne, Kwame, Tikasia, Assam, yeah, become once and Kaka, implications. I want us to use that, you so know as a starting point to discuss employment in Ghana. Didn't employment, innovation, and also Chrome you Chrome you per se come I think that this is a very good example to start from. And secondly, so last week US State Department issued report on Ghana, the security, and then no matter of Ghana, US embassy almost no money who almost train better they better discuss it, no more can. Nah, yeah, discuss it, say no cry, not saying no cry. And I said, the president ever out, ever can. So MMDCE, DC, Chrome local government. So I ever to Abanawa when you local government. Last 2 or 3 years, you see a very home referendum. Much sign it because now almost see a political parties for Muhujima. And yeah, the referendum. No. It's much sign by presidency of a sign entertaining that conversation if you me send the home come na with your advice with your amount for Kana Wahe, your farm. So we discussed that one as well. Cheneno, Nana was there, he's already on it, in Chibiam and never to so my train hands, so I think I might have to call him. But about as usual, thank you for already sharing and sending us a comment. I said, wow, we should be asking. So I just sent a comment and share. Nanti and saying sister someone share and I'm like and say the way Facebook works right now, no, and any pressure on it will limit your broadcast. But the more amount for like here and I said the more amount for share no, then now or amount will be more amount for me so it may. So that's why we say you share and like anytime I will say the 5 in the WhatsApp. Right, and we expect all of you to, share and all of you to, a friend is saying, share, like, send a comment. So be active on it. So now, you who said, also, so that's it. I don't want to that. So me back to see, I said, me share it quickly. Now, yeah. share no quickly now be a TV. So you know before I ever start the usual and share na um it was share my screen the to show no I shall say I'm a small boy na did find but yeah shall say
Yeah, and when one could say too.
Oh, me kwa mi ti.
Yeah, one could say too. It's also
Oh,
bunny
oh,
view.
oh, we there me power cho. Aha. Mo fan che, no sound. Thank you. Ma me somebody be what with them some mo fan che me na. We cannot do a show without our two. Oh, with the man heard the sound in the band, why? And Sana Mako. How's the sound right now? Sound never.
Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa.
I just sound never. Mamma mia, why? I said, almost no sound. Let me know the sound.
Yeah, afa.
Oh, thank you.
Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Go croco, ya no me chaja chodeto. And Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto. O'Brien, se miss your get chalato. Ah, dear, chale, no be lie. Bibia, ya, Ubia, ya,
When the show say ebefa, we are saying Ghana Kuna Kuma shit. Hit womb, but everything ebefa.
chale, no be lie. Bibia, ya, Ubia, ya, Chroma, ya shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street. Nobody care what we do. Nobody care.
And that show no me sign. Let me reiterate. And that you might discuss first of all. Nanado say the president so what he say MMDCE no obesa try her say you bet me out to abana I think on nearby this episode discussing the amount for advice say yes sir yen to abana because mukaya last election and keba referendum now what it was going to be they say come back be allow me out to abana you from DC MMDCE the batch time now.
Ever with me boy, share she has had.
What we go through, nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and cry no. Your parent, you know, be yes, I'm here. Someone say, I'm not Betty Coco. When did my break up bed? Mulinki, Mr. John, yes, you are body pedals. Ah, yeah, Charlie, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah, shit, Ubia, yeah, shit, Laris, ah, yeah, Charlie, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah, shit, Ubia, yeah, shit. Chroma, yeah, shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa.
Savage man. Yes, sir. They be a bay, yeah. Nasu they be pepper that bay. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. Ghana for there are some so I say Winty will be ready my tem, but some things need to be said in 10 Can you let it out of the basket? Contain. Let's start with religion and these big ass churches. Pastors more paid than teachers and nurses. How the preachers they afford these big benches and nobody questions it from the pews and the benches. Hey, education getting poorer at a higher price. Less quality teachers and more strikes. Students know the land, chill for all night. These views might be leftist, but it's alright. Election time, politics by these novices. May empty their wallets and give us empty promises. How can I trust you when you say what you don't do? I vote for you, you work for me, that's the cold truth. Judgment decks, G that report. I will get into this thing. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day will come, they say the only time parliamentarians they agree is when they talk about raising their own salaries. The only time Kuti go get bribe from me is never 20 and never. With me boy, she has had traffic problems. Oh yeah, so I know they buy what they had to build a mall there. Congestion is vexing, so the horns blare. La fire is rampant. All of we this sled. To each his own, me I'm not a saint here. I hope every radio station hears me real clear. It's a moon on the door, so too much loose talk. No fact checking, this be news. Oh, more beauty pageants and award shows. Why we have so damn many, only God knows. Nothing ever starts on time and sanity. We need to step a game up, improve quality. And I came here to murder mediocrity. Sorry, I don't even start here. They be a bay, yeah. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day will come, yeah, I've noticed there's child lies in showbiz. More hocus pocus, so bogus. More scoundoggery from promoters. This will not make me popular. Charlie, I know this. Ghana wants to be internationally heard, or so I hear. But we cheat and don't treat each other fair. Chris Brown got paid an arm and a leg. Good for him. But you want to pay me peanuts? That's absurd. I know there are levels to make sense. Doesn't help, we making songs that don't make sense. Kindergarten raps and corny punchlines. And most tracks sound corny.
I have to go do some daddy duties. So still no sound. This is after a while.
On the bright side, we get potential and tens. We need to work harder, it's essential for the win. We can't think critique, it's taboo or a sin. I wrote this out of love, sincerely yours, M. Vim. More things are fit to talk, but one day go be, They be a bay, yeah. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah. They be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day will come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day will come.
For me, I started with our first topic, Madam once again for coming over and the stories all over the place in your show somatic, and I want us to really discuss it quickly now. Let's first of all let's mention that Yeah, and discussing it quickly. Why? Now, another, I said, me feel for, I mean, the, I think topic there about discussing the prayer for we who cut me and the into us.
Oh, 2 weeks they gonna home.
Okay, FM yenye show ha.
There be.
Esa say 2010 October ba yenye show.
Enti Freddy of our adwuma ne say. Kwame Nkrumah ne morning show for ne say.
Yenye show.
Yenye show. Ejasu ya mfa se beye. Show. Me na me Ghana decide me issue.
There be.
Enti oh 2 weeks they gonna home. Ya brand sam ya ma okay FM let him o.
Na na nke tie di issue na ye yanke betim.
E kan team.
Programs me no po.
2. Brabe ye we yi a wo akwatena se me bo apasa me o yare asa ho ya de.
No so
Yeah, name video na apostle.
Me and my post you now, me there 2 minutes, I make a say. Propos me say your mukade team of 4. In your name say, if you are Pukua, aka Vim Lady, she's part of the team. So more can news, I normally know more can news. Aside that, no, I will show I know you are done, just no, they are back. Peace FM. It's I think for the past week or 2, or a month, and I don't know exactly the time span, but she's been on leave. Whether it's sick leave or just PTO, I don't really know, but she's not at the office at the moment. But or on leave now or on sick leave, she comes online and still does her show from Baby One. Saying, COVID by more with me a Juma, more normally with a computer, anymore me a Juma online. Move here still with me a Juma from home. Me say for the past 1 year, they call office that. Juma me free fee. Aha. It's I think she's doing the same thing. Now we know sa enye enkrofo de. It's show now or no online. I think one of their complaints is to say enkrofo invite you to show no so once organ or studio normally politicians see normal trans NDC back MPP back when you go lecture back could be now almost discuss na to say now about room normally we invite experts or more diaspora experts or more abroad baby or one and I say experts all over the world and I perform basho so normally Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, US, UK, Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. Omo baso. Inti sana stay show na kwakoye. Na sa enye the team either. And then they decided to say one day omeba radio so na omaba express omu view on it. Inti no me atwas.
Oh, 2 weeks or they been home.
They enti no afrem penifo ne say Kwame Nkrumah so o ma me nyo.
Na de open no be face you.
Ana ni penifo be si nkonya. To one yesi akatwe de ma no nya akatwa. asɛm na ɛno no we nya ye ko gina
no say dan
me se enya asɛm keto na dey ye nko gina baabi ne ye ka daabi o ye nko kata enkoye ba ye ma obi akwan so ema ne nye obaya yo social media
okay fm anya yi show ha
daabi
esa say 2010 October ba ye yi show
enti Freddy ofa wa adwuma ne se wa me nkruma ne morning show fo ne se
yenye yi show
ejasu ya mfa se beye yi show me na me Ghana decide na me yi show
dabi
aha enti wo 2 weeks de gwene ho no anu wo 2 weeks e de gwene ho
na no de gwene ho dey
gwene ho se obeba be ya na se wo de agiwa home ye the program no beto wa ma wo edu ebe ma DJ abodwom
oba no abeye
ya brand sam ye ma okay fm letimo
and then can you the issue na ye yanke betim
e kentim
programs me no po
tu bra be ye we yi a wo akwatena se me bo pasa me o yare asa ho yade say wo ye ba nkrofo atia brochire no omo frefre omo ho no wo mo atia brochire 30 years de ekoso ha no wonte enti program no I affiliate with nkrofo e wa ha
it's not in touch
sound nkwa anye
what you see Classic Powers what the interlocutory
we are stakeholders station programs too pay we dey hold no
who the interlocutory injunction atoso
na yam pniu
also man 2 weeks after 2 weeks no na the injunction na dey happy
dey beba enti fra ompani fu
dey beba say
o say
they no so 2 weeks or dey dwene ho
dey enti no afra ompani fu no say kwa me nkruma so o ma me nyo
na de open no be face you
ana ni perifo be si nkonya what one yes ya katwe de manu nya katwa eti asem na eno no we nya ye ko gina
no say dan
me se enya asem katwa na dey ye ko gina baabi ne ye ka te ne ye ka na fidie so ndi ni ba call recording because multimedia wa na wo no Bibusa, multimedia, would they allow you to do that?
To issue?
No. Multimedia? Mambiama?
No,
yeah. No multimedia pen. Would that happen in multimedia?
How dare you?
Also,
love FM.
Yes.
How dare you?
And see, why?
Oh, my God, I query, I bet you could.
I don't know this side in the
no one you do can't watch us out. Naza no be too kra na nka say be approve ama won no
all so say kwa am despite ni paradox wo ma ehumobro na ade ehumobro ye aya ahwiase aye nna wo yare ya tenase me the program no beto ho ama
in your capacity as what?
In my capacity as unofficial
owner of OKFM.
Nana, you are holding the station in trust.
Yes. In God we trust.
Yes. He trust.
Oh, they be no. Eyi egofu bi a omo ye party. Adwuma mu omo ye party. Ne say ba ko achi e ma ni bi do ma kwese.
Obviously for a bit in the we no esi here ya na that started discussion on and then and was it and about the discussion issue we I hope that will be full you're train my RS away so and you need power by friends. It's this is what happened with if you have Pukua issue. Now I say we buy a lot of people have been discussing it. Normally, like I said, normally this will not be in our scope, but it's something that we can talk about. Like the way our attitude towards innovation says still you might be brave or Ghana like a Jumana Natin and 1990. We don't want to change. So if they get a new CEO and after they get a new manager, no decide they say or some new mum kakra. Then help with profit, help him then there are so many obstacles. And in my boss show we send the boss video way for people to understand. That's where I want the conversation to be at. Personal conversation mainly personal to if you are Pukua issue, but me per se you're discussing on a broader like you're discussing generally. Say how do you see this issue within a catch-up? First of all, the mama shout out quick. Dr. Marcus, thank you very much as usual. Being a serious supporter of our program. And that was said that we are no time with me as I afa hampacho wo hwa no wa share my right. Me share lights na nipa be de oho and na so nipa be 2 pairs 3 pairs I like it. So me am like him. And I was there, you are my panel, so I'm not going to give you a shout out. Lionel Gabriel Usijo, thank you very much. Yadasi. Welcome to the show. And William Becci, my mom, big shout out. We will be Sheila, Charlie, thank you very much. Oba now my comments. Anytime you want to join the show, just let me know, give me a shout, and then you can come on. And Emmanuel G, as usual. Thank you. Until Mummy and Twasso. And then I was it.
Yeah, bro.
Why ready? I said, we want to say.
Yo, Madasi, name. Either BBS, Waboshene, only saying, Pocha one share, one kaka, or BBN and son. Last week's year, sorry, in Yamba. In Piafosi, soon some pay by Munama bro. One French, and that's it. Ya banana yaba. Yo, name. As I'm about to ways is it. Yaboshan, as I'm Cassi. Must to Bunia. Chenugenas, no style of fame or the Bashir median. Chenugenas, yeah, BB to them. Now, Uncle first start to walk with one canton because all the way in coffee when you are or system. And see, some about my sister, if you're for corners and out, won't all the way coffee when you are system. Because according to Kwame, one okay saying it's okay saying, us Ghana for crampo when you were butchered. Yen see, and now Mudiam approach a day. Yena yewo abuchari, you more could do see. As some approach, then Yena yet you more could do see. And see, 1 year showed no Francis if you offer the man. Momo if you're fooling your mom won't be a British fool in anyone. Yes, you had the man. Mamma yen said my gun or locodo. Oh, nay, okay, FM, Obayacha. But was it ye? Or you obine personal as all you know again into all ye maybe into my sister if you pukua all the brain go for anyone. All the cast because it be nagging buses because I'm in the say because of one station about into your bay program today we are over on my invite and second intimate man share life it's automation the back it's a moon there. One or far from one another because I'm a care that one crime come on about some. Never say me, mechanical or that some baba. I'm personal that's some other because nkofuni chema chemu ndai ehwe na akufado na family na nche won ze won pade ye baje fa anwuzin de we mpempe fa bode wo chechemu na mas azi anhwe obaka masista na hwa no ampa aka masista na hwa no nti mu da ho ye obi awon yew na waka won mo guga na wo na worry oya ho yew na on favor edwuma nura ana on favor one oye show be on favor one nti name oya ho yew Mrs. Tefia obono mgbadon do dado ami na ono mo fight wa ami na ono ye ntem nti memfada ma fight information olugbo na edwuma ori ye mobutu aya mo omane Ghana ori ye mobutu aya ma emanfo yene ye gwa abrochi because waka Ghana na ye ntene so wa aba na so we ori ye issue ni yesi ye kunu ye tebi ye we edwuma na si ye kunu ye tebi a no one ho yin den name oya ho ye o Ghana dem eken bi pe bi be edwuma bi na orsesa edwuma na ibi pe na orsesa edwuma na yempe ya pa ye tren yende donum ya pa ye tren yankuku ahwenim ko Ghana so do yanko yin anyim ade ye botum ye tuen na 4 5 6 8 na bi apotwen na asan tenten nti mo rekodo wa Ghana yin awel kasan papa na biru na wozi wase awel gbe kona to ma amanfa afam na biru close kona nti yene bibifu na nkasa doya dem Abraham kan maybe on yankopana na ogbo hen maybe abofon ga kama bi no wonye ni zagor na yebogum because yempe mpuntu yankasin na Abraham nche ebi bu edwuma na akotwe so obaka na fabrica
yeah you know at first I'm kasala thought say like omani abre ba didn't pay the bone on something like that. I personal
name onye akotwe na sister theology no oye wan yew oya anwo yew no owo Ghana fun ye na adwunum yankasa yankuru tumpon yenu tumpon yan sister tumpon ye mamnu tumpon oye yew ibi ayi na tina fa akona pa ni ye dwuma no tumpon oye ne yew instead of the man from abo abo name ayaze kode yen oye ne yew because onyo no no ye owo ye nyina ye ba se etukwana ba abrochi na kwame waju na sesa mu na sister fe obezi wori zikaka na adwuna sesa so all kasa na yes obebu ezam to e wo Ghana na kasa e different because ibi le show ibi u pay master bi shebe bi a kasa na nka ni ye ya ahwe o mo wedwuma abo nto da echi kasa ba sister fe on fi obi bia obem o kana adwen say sometimes when you be no yin be ya adwen but o kana adwen empenas oye style binti so kaman kutin pant sister fi onje edwuma no re okay FM no nje number tna abucha no ye ni issue abucha on to Facebook YouTube obenye sketching mori o man Ghana number tna no ngbe nyene ye wa yin na adwe mo kodo wa Ghana o me hu mo kodo wa Ghana so kaman kutin anti fi puku onje okay FM because you yim gwase no was abren so what kind of kukum
Ujaya your person what they want to achieve, no matter achieve you.
Yes, achieve. Mama Kata sa achieve. Impe be able block when him and Bob Blunt na fakul.
Right.
Able block when him. No one's what I got no what na fakul. Nti so come on say so nje number ta but no any issue abucha. No mbe boom difference so because it's a for life on shall rubber tal. I'm at on both fake watch. Yes, and see any cassie be me as a fa. When I watch a robot talent, I will about butcher electric kitchen one. If you on shall robot, Saint Cassette be animal rams or from Kwame, most more will be. Most of my come with you be. yenje yanwu ninti tukan na Ghana yintumpre kwame ya beto na abochira still yezizinye na ase wa abochira yini yefi Ghana abahan yezizinye na ase wa kwame ya we ebilu kodo wa hade ya na ebi zizi na ase etwumam awolim bibialem ne yezizinye ya na ase wa abochira nso yesu Yesu no maga ba yetu kuna ababo chode nchi yesu nyansa papa no to wetu kuna ababo cha wa batuna hada ana wa ba hada nto no ncho nyansa na yezi ma yetina kukuma ne yetu kukunu yampa yamma yanwudo ne yefi kukunu ne yetu ya yo man Ghana ye ne nyina yo man Ghana woni bi ne ya wa yo man Ghana ho adwuma nti Mrs. Tefia masna wala so okaman ko te ncheje okay FM adwuma na batna abrochira na ye yi show ye na obobo e wo views chino one and if you ye fra if you e wo views thousand chino one I am professional chino one e bi yourself wo mo wona wotena one be yourself wo soft no jeje ho ne bi asinyame afro na etumi etigama nsem ye kira na ekija asofi me preach oye me yo bese na tena one na so ye bese o na le ka wonya bese na asam bese na tena ho no so wo no bosuma akono ole kan yanko bese asam a onzi ye wompo wonum da achen was a bayen nti masra masa makane sister fia o kaman ko sia cheje okay if you're never to we show because sometimes at one again because in same way to manka kwame ya we if you're trying to platform in same way to manka baba bocha and same way to manka because we need a platform in the view.
And I think I get your angle. Do beso say and ka Otigana and I ka no, let me see. Oh beso say if you show no assistant now about kuma assistant.
Yes.
Is that what you're driving at? Say
and
assistant tea and I own your opposition and freedom crop into a better hand and call your show or your Ghana now and come complain.
David.
It's
like
it's a issue now or anything more cassa but no man I was shown.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Njenya yete show one invite one wo gbe mo one wo bia kana adwen ana mobwa by Ghana e bi kana adwen pe na e fe bram do na e fe ba ha no so tum kana adwen because o mpunto lo kodo abrochira yes
right but unim
no tum kana adwen pa wa ba tum gbe o kana adwen ana mobwa
right right can you do that there's no Canada in your Ghana now
I no different Kwame
okay
okay different man can
and this is my take me no me fan on a more general view say a problem a deep rooted problem Ghana and Ghana ko bebrea I say feel say they don't want to change organization be a woman be a person be changing be a person the ono beto no and the omne chat and no one say ya kopim say ye nyina e bi we fra asase so no change iti osha the whole complaint this guy was making say yeah started radio no say any issue and car radio no anything but what he's not thinking about and say when they started the shows I don't know whether in the early 2000s or in the 90s or whenever they started it I think the radio is about 10 years different than 2000 2010 or baby almost started radio station now there was nothing like working from remote working. Even if there was, it was very, very, very few people and people just in technology or more the chance to do that. People never did that. Be sorry, I mean, I could join the traffic, now you call office. That was what was going on. So, but when the pandemic hit, Mrs. Our system, no, US, UK, all the so-called developed nations, internet is everywhere. No, we're having the same problem. Sometimes when you have to take care of family issue, correctly. So, but say you or office or I'm a one clock in, and I say one metrasi or cubicle ma. Most of the time, grab out here, you won't crowd in your sheet. But once you who office environment, they feel say this is what it's called working. But when the pandemic hit in 2019, late 2019, but the 2020, I know Shina, we had no choice than not to go to any crowded place. The businesses were forced to let workers work from home. And when workers start some year, I think the first maybe 2 or 3 months, there were some few challenges. But before then, there were some, I think Apple, Microsoft, they had already started experimenting on this. But I bet most in human who say, these people are home and even production is even more. Your utility prices, your utility cost are performed drastically. There's no serious traffic in town. People don't come to office and be dozing off and be sleeping off. The stress of our workers are down. Now, even after COVID, most of the companies amongst our option is that you can work from home. And I said, what people are doing right now is what they call hybrid. You could remember 2 days, and then you be at home in 3 days, and I could remember 3 days, and you be at home in 2 days. So flexibility, abim. So for this particular case, say if you are on vacation, whether she's on vacation or whether she's sick, and then from wherever she was, because the ultimate and driving and go office every day, she decides to be innovative and work from wherever she is. Maybe a boss crown me if I have my job and one of my workers will call vacation and now we are into me and he or she is far away from the office and to me, and then the person still decides to obey your Jumano, find some innovative way to still do the job for me every day. In fact, such a person should be people like this to praise you mona utimi, encourage things like that. But okoto and profile like dinosaurs like Tikesie and in Kopuyo Muguya our pen and paper and no matra, they are not willing to learn anything. Now we Nyamia wadum now koto mu edwuma. Bro mo bre almost start here because technology wasn't that big. They had to write everything down. They had to do this. They had to bro mo bre ni nyina. They want you to suffer the same thing. So that's why still, if you want to do your passport now to Bolgatanga, you have to drive all the way to Accra. Who register a business, you have to drive all the way to Accra because of people like this. Decentralization to me near Juma. So as I said, no matter you could have easily done the transaction for bare 2 minutes or 3 minutes. You go online and then you go to that locality, local government. And then you can just click on Assassin and every information on Assassin Ghana no who are officer, obey a researcher, no put 10,000, 2,000 Ghana. Then you have to sit home for 3 weeks for them to do research because they want the system to be that hard. Then you have to rely on them. And this is exactly what has been exhibited here. So me at first I thought they were just being colloquial, they were just being dinosaurs. And nimno munim. But for them to bring the pay, say I thought that was a bit personal. I think they have a bigger issue with her than say Juma from far away from the office. Now Utie and just say they were willing to shut the show down until she comes. If you show the time you show than say she'll be somewhere and do the show. Just say so we are Ghana. I think we brought up so many literate, uneducated literates. So we have a lot of people who can read and write. They call themselves lawyers, doctors, and all that. They can read and write. But just step a little bit outside the box becomes an issue. It's not still. President is driving around with a convoy of about 60 cars. You say it's a Malawi, the white president during the COVID. Or Zoom meeting, or fly call London, or Zoom meeting. So big companies with big CEOs are sitting at home doing Zoom. To say interview crowd, you just sit at home, turn your computer on, and then you do your interview. Me, you started my new job about a year plus. Me see office on that. I just wake up, turn my computer on, and do my job. Meeting biano. You say meeting, I'm out for me because you just turn your Zoom on and you're on the meeting. So, I think although me personally, I think that this is on the petty level. These guys are just being petty. The girl is the woman is a very popular woman, very learned woman, very smart woman. She's very affable. A lot of people gravitate towards her. Me, I wasn't a big fan, but Nancy who said will be in the show trying to Makoni show no so crowd. And I know Dr. Bakus is one of the, I think Dr. Bakus gonna invite him. Share Mami who and of course our shows. Dr. Bakus is one of the biggest contributors to the show. Nyame yakra and say Ghana for now what diaspora and bima betra krom obi akwabuche be 30 years 20 years inti onim ne ekoso Ghana na wa so such a person so nkesa by now from yin a pre-consul I mean with him he just exhibited how scatterbrained he is. Say over kase obi ote abrochi in this modern time. Me like almost Ghana for minimum they are always listening to the radio. That you can see with me because of that interview doing Ketiane Papa Yowie Sir John Nessa Uncle for Intino. That because Sir John and Ketia their banter was very, very nice. I always listen to him in Mr. Anopa. I just go his recorded versions. Let me see. So whatever is going on in Ghana, and it's going to shock you. Say you will be all people be broke because of the access to internet. We know more of what is going on, and even let's assume say a name cry, and then if you decide say that's going to bring us into the conversation because a vast contribution to Ghana's GDP. Ghana for more British come send the buffet no crowd doors change bossing amojin every year. So until say Ghana for no more British now no she's trying to bring them into the fold no more here. So I think that was very, very it's a very bad taste And the guy has to be publicly sanctioned. Mahmoud said, okay, FM4, I issue some kind of communique to say, Aquani views, any of my views, and you're the same. Man and mama, lady, no PTO, and as a man and woman vacation time, and she's entitled to it. And I'm sure now, so it has been sanctioned by them. Say, oh, sorry, I think I'll have to read that. I was say, oh yeah, any problem. But for this guy and crew to come on to radio to come and embarrass the lady. Well, making an attempt to embarrass her, and they ended up embarrassing themselves. But for them to do that, I think it's of bad taste. And if the radio station is a very, very serious radio station, something be done about it. And it's about time that such dinosaurs are cleared from the radio, because what are they doing? Bomb friends this knee back when people knee back, and then they will come and talk about something. Then you don't get anything from it because everybody is claiming to be right, and there is no if you like the old again out of our radio and no one out of the coffee because we are NDC here. You come to take the NDC part of it, and I MPP now you come to take the MPP part of it. After the debate, you get nothing from it. So I am very, very sad say this has to happen, but then I think it opens the door for a conversation like this to be had. So it opens the doors for such a conversation to be had, because it's very embarrassing, and I think that the guy showed his ignorance. Kwame Tikesiano and the other gentleman and the lady, they showed their ignorance, and I think they owe the lady an apology. It's embarrassing. Maybe I was embarrassed because Kwame Tikesiano, but I was embarrassed. It's let me see. I'm just a bit ready communicate now. Na movie TV na same way there. Rabakus, Kwame, I really think it was well planned with the backing from management. Wow, really? I'm sure they got their information, especially the salary part from management or someone within management. That press release, the press release was hollow, very, very hollow. I said. They are just sidestepping the issue. But Mr. Bakusi can say no crepa there. I mean, salary issue. Every so more kind of open door policy now. Everybody's salary, and you might be like everybody knows everybody's salary. And this idea, Ghana mom them here shows a sanity.
But by Kwame, so I could check the grandpa. One was not put into a better radio.
Yeah, maybe mom that could have on a crown, but say a radio station, which I for about is there normally, or better BBC and I just said, Dr. Bakus, the better BBC and I just winning, or background. But they're taking it from face value in there. I think that the radio station wasn't part of it, but because this guy is a veteran of the station, will be to be in Canada. You see the Vima or the Kasai said, Omo higher when catch up and say, me.
Yeah, I'm not can. As in, if you mention rubber jacket into the man of Okitavin.
But I think Lady Namapu Reka say her popularity now. Also, no, she had already built herself.
Right.
It's not a local station, I say, skin pink a crown.
Yeah, and why you're done on McKenna.
Yeah. It's a moment kind of free a kaka. TV Ghana. Musa on Twitter. Not if I'm on Twitter, I'm American. More a you here, I mean, kind of. I'll see. Okay. I'll say The management of Despite Media has taken notice of the recent comments by Kwame Nkrumah Dikesie making waves within the media space about Efiapokua. Management wishes to inform the general public that it is aware of Efiapokua's absence from the country as well as a virtual Jasu Jasu program, having approved and sanctioned same. As an organization, it is within our right to grant a staff leave with or without salary depending on the circumstance, and this is no exception. Kwame Nkrumah Dikesie's personal opinion on the matter or comments probably made without malice, does not in any way represent the position of the management of the agreement reached with Efiapokua on her absence and virtual program. We wish to assure our loyal listeners that their best interests will always be considered in every decision taken now and in the future. We will, however, take this opportunity to thank all our loyal listeners, staff, and other stakeholders for being part of the Despite Media family. We are most grateful. Yeah. Thank you. Signed by management. I don't know who actually signed it, but like Bach was kind, it was pretty empty. I think they just sidestepped the problem and just distanced themselves from it. But Nkrumah, I think Cuba cannot go on, and I say any person from Fox cannot just go and just denigrate his colleague and no, I find who it is, but it is what it is. But I think the guy, if he's a gentleman, he should just come and apologize. Because especially that two guys now on count, the lady and the gentleman. It was very embarrassing. Farabak would say, like, if you watch the video critically, I said, no, there was a director, nobody directed it, that shown it, well, Mano G, it's sad, but I think it's an embarrassing moment. But I think that it's essentially a good opportunity for us to start having these conversations. So, say, still, if you become a minister of state, we have to buy you this car and do that. You file police, it's a compare police, bungalow, and our police quartet now. No first world nation is doing that again. But if you are a Ghanaian manager, and as a project manager, now you do and you decide to make these stage changes. These are some of the dinosaurs, colloquial, rock-minded people that you're going to meet, and this is the trouble you're going to have. And unfortunately for us, most of these men are fairly powerful, and normally they are puppet masters. They have some strings they can pull. And now because while people are like that, they've been in the industry for very long, they've probably done some favors to some big men that they can pull their string. And on behalf of it, and that's the problem you're having. Then I was any other thing, sign cover one. And I said we can move on.
Yeah, name I am a young in there. What almost about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Utum kadama sama. But for what was the band and then yan tassing. Listeners and your friend channel. No punishment, Yalon Kodoma. One over. Mobile for what trouble and the young fancy. Now I did keke. Oh, Nelican, aha. If you are first news of what's about to know, no one can question some action in Hong
Live on radio.
Yeah,
No,
into more could do a man this year. If you are more pure man because I'm running it more man Ghana. The man can said you young president on to Monfa or can 60 cars, no on fat nego but to Monfont to 1 car. Kwame billing so abuchra. You go that to 1 car at the petrol man. Or Ghana for young name. The same thing all could do it made you because I will buy out and I won't work when nti that my apologies mala said you mon okay if me dey hwe acha mon hwe onye last popompo na dey ka fa be and final program mo mu ni da ma programming and nchaman sada papa no ka fa be ma mo hwe bi nti that station why you kolo in the station one fra NDC one fra NPP no one matter no one kan awo ka mepe wo so ka mepe in the program wo ye kan na adwen ye ka mo kodo wo manu ay papa ye baka ay bana ye baka in the program wo abado mo kodo yin on the first story nem ka che the show wo Ghana no ntum offer MPP NDC no abato we do nim no woko ba oba ha no offer etitirfo no interview ana moboa nti ahoye no wo mu nti stefia na now was no kase ebedi ege na betena abrochira na ye wo yi show ni bofo na kawa no kan maka cha kwame mon me fian position wa ban kwame ke yenso bibia biwo yenso lawyer na yenso police because when you why corrupt wa Ghana awo yebudo ye baka wa asam.
Yeah, I think that the solution is if you come to every challenge and I don't think that that's a solution. If you're Jaya, you also call normally because if you're Jaya, they will expect you say or no be Jaya, and then they get their way.
You're excellent. Sister, if you're not on say, or yeah, him or being punch or to resign to that. Nankasoni or pro resign on 2 until you have a figure no resign. Kwame, you're a challenge. You're a problem challenge.
Anyway, I think that's a decision for Sister.
Yeah. Or you're challenging if you are but on your challenge you or a council can or you compete a human paper or no I challenge you or young. So Kwame, what you is the campaign being busy. Oh, come on, Kwame.
Anyway, now let's move on. Me and call with the Omoyano bro from to the Yinti. So Anna Imanodina Kasim, old man with outmoded ideas with Ghanaian mentality, who may have never traveled before. There's a no radio station or brain there to be about whole brain, irrespective of the era we are in. It's in a university teacher to make a choice. Share. Me course we the whole school. Me passing. So I'm not going to make it easy for anybody. So you might have colloquial mindset. I dream bonnet who brain into so be a brain. So doesn't make sense. You know then I was a young I think the next one we know here. United States Department, US for State of Department, and Omo report. I think normally every year every quarter they get reports from their various embassies, and Omo report tabana Ghana boy deal. GNT US for no can sanity.
Government or its assigns. The United States Department of State cites issues of arbitrary or unlawful killings, inhuman treatment, as well as violence and threats against journalists as major cases of infringement on the rights of Ghanaians in 2021. This report generated reaction among a section of Ghanaians, while some believe the content of the report should be considered with all seriousness, others are of the view that the publication should be treated with contempt. Professor Kwesi Enin of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center has described it as unnecessary.
For me, we should locate our concerns within what is consistently raised by Ghanaian radical voices. What is it that makes the State Department talking about problems that we talk about on a daily basis much more important than what we do? When Professor Jimabwedi raised his voice, and he wrote that he was criticized, where was the U.S. government? They kept quiet. When Kwesi speaks and he's being held down, where the U.S. government? My point is very simple. Until we learn to respect and dignify the voices that seek to bring the rule of law, the respect for human rights, transparency, accountability, instead of always dedicating ourselves and placing emphasis and importance on other people's perceptions, people who don't give a damn about us anyway, then I have an issue with whatever is in that report is something that Ghanaians are talking about. Those are the things that we should be concerned about. So for me, this report, this is a routine annual raid.
But a member of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, who is a former senior police officer, believes the publication is damning.
I think this report is damning.
Hola, Papa. I'm calling you to say that I sent you a little money.
Somebody we all believe is a human rights lawyer at the helm of affairs as the president of the republic. We expect that the country's human rights record under him should be the best. Unfortunately, the performance is so dismal, according to this report, and it's sad.
The report identified unlawful killings allegedly committed by security agencies as an indicator of human rights abuse in Ghana. The U.S. Department of State highlighted the killing of some 8 persons during the 2020 polls as an example. According to the report, 2 of the persons were killed by the National Election Security Task Force, composed of military and police units, while at least 2 deaths were caused by civilian violence. These deaths have been a matter of concern for stakeholders since 2020, especially families of the victims. One of the most referenced is Techiman South. Controversies over the collation and declaration of the parliamentary resource, which is now a subject of an election petition, led to shooting by security officers, which resulted in the death of some residents. The families have since then demanded an inquiry into the matter and justice for their dead or injured relatives. With this report, the families believe government has not paid attention to their plights.
If the human rights, the United Nations has brought this information, it is the way how the government was handling the issue. That is why they too, it is not the right that the government should handle the issue on that way. That is why they brought this statement. Very, very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Because the reason why I'm saying that, since this thing happened, they came here and then give us a big promise that they will follow the matter and bring the justice out. If I may ask, up to now, where is the justice now? They came and promised the family that they will bring the justice. They will let the family get their justice and their right. So where is the justice?
According to the report, investigations are ongoing in these killings. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry in June 2021 paid a visit to the affected families, apologized for the happenings and assured of investigations into the matter. But many have questioned why it will take the security apparatus more than a year to conclude investigations into such happenings.
These were clear cases of shooting to death of innocent people at the polling station. So this is clear a murder case. What are the investigative steps to take? They are just normal. Who was there? Gathered some information around, gathered some intelligence. Who were those carrying the arms? What bullet killed who? The autopsy report will connect you to some kind of arms or some kind of weapons. And who were those carrying such weapons at the scene? And when you get those who are carrying weapons, you just go to the National Election Security Task Force and find out who did you deploy there? What were the reports? And this is not a very difficult thing to do, unless it is a state-frustrated system.
The death of Ibrahim Muhammad, known as Kaka, in Nigeria was also cited as an example of arbitrary killings. Kaka, who was said to be a member of Economic Fighters League, was killed in his home in Nigeria by some unknown assailants. According to the United States Department of State report, the deceased was said to have received death threats prior to the killing. The aftermath of this led to a protest by the youth of Nigeria, which resulted in the death of 2 other persons when the military opened fire on them. An inquiry into the shooting later revealed that the Ashanti regional minister ordered for the military backup into the community. But Peter Lanchini Tobu, who is a former executive secretary at the office of the IGP, believes it is such actions by political officers that results in abuses.
Can you imagine a DCE who has just been appointed? He has no clue about what security is. And by virtue of that appointment, he becomes the chairman of the District Security Council, controlling the police and controlling the military and controlling everybody in uniform under him or her without any experience. That is the danger. And I think that the country is moving forward and our democracy is developing. We need to begin to look at empowering civilians to understand security perspective in governance. And gradually we'll have a better way to go. Democracy is always by civilians. But we need to let the civilians appreciate that if you have security officers working under you, they need to be accepted.
That's what. So now, the Cincinnati State U.S. State Department almost every year they are report about normally everywhere more interest. I report on me and this year and I say Ghana, I say this year no corruption, no violence. I could put me visit state security, say police and the army and as national security or multi issue to citizens near the other. It's the abetuja. The abetuja na bimu say omonti ase na some now omoka na no correct. And a bimu su no correct. As I say we there. Yina any and yes say US for no kind of I'm you dada. It's more conversation or more heavy. It's a Danny debate or Ghana, bimu su US for no enjoy master munim de omokeka. Na bimu su master asema isi. And no one of Mokaina away. So now they take it away.
Yeah, brother Madasi. In fact, lawyer no professor no because first one. In fact, Miss No your pa. I'm a professor, Miss No your pa wa Ghana. Zero no kwanya many. So BBC wa Ghana no offer no better na gonna pay. I wanna wait examine. Kwame, dama professor no wait examine. Until you are chamber farmers and farmer by teachers are now by ya. So Abazno, Obutu by wa Ghana. It is a report. Yes, in him the doubt. Abba some na kind of Ghana. In the will 8 people and 9 people. But to him, Abba's now lawyer Akawon and our professor Akawon. A fret.
Oh, so no, nothing to say. That's the Bia Crawford Ghana Mukamwasem.
On young Kwame, on your for Ghana, Wakamwasem. Nankasa, we put on Wakadama Seminary, President and what for a 8 or Okuni. And now BBC. Yankani Yankawasam, Dama professor, Wafra Wakamasam. In some in the social media waban. As a miss, I am fra professor, and ya fra NDC, the one batch one, you know. No, some baby are some of that. But I am young Padama some working in a one car, embassies in our bay now, Dama corruption or bay now. What's the American embassies? Why did our bubble no so reporting? Young face, na dama ekuku ni na wa man Ghana payini bia anyo butu akadama asemi young president also no oye human right lawyer na so ntum bi na nka de biewu by sofo na bo wi ya our president akọ sofo wi ya akọ ofana this guy you amleke wi eye yi wo man Ghana, but one can say, "Oh, you woman Ghana's and 2 man come answer." I mean, because on your naba, on your nunya, on your no fast. In the Yafa, it been on why I post for was a man. ya fa nkofu bi ne ya hye won ntel no wodin someone no man Ghana yes yanka because of favor obi ne party or favor obi but say to me dream aye to me get pepper ye dream any party bi echi to me bobia na echi that was in that yes oh true yen wo man Ghana yen mo kodo wo man Ghana but ekaka pa wo bachi watu ekaka da mazin pe obosuma aposu fi ya wa sha won tali wa bodu wa babo blow because one of man does do
report no mention kaka na report no ka say journalist bia to say Kevin Kuda money we are Obama bonti bia timba arrest on ya there mukani nyina.
Yes, Mekede one of Wakandan Joy FM for presenter of Kumasi Muyifinism. Can you Japan tracted Obokun?
No call report kaka no and I fencing. Ko follow for kaka kumkum
Kennedy Jinan Radio Bokun, Yaya Washe, Kennedy Jina Radio do Wabonkofun, Ramonkofun, Wu, Ghana Banan Kawashi. Many now reporting. Now, Dama professor, and two men one and Kebi, then there back there, Dama, what's happening, bullshit. Young Tungu.
Oh, one kede bullshit.
No, it's the same thing. As my bullshit. As my block, a paper minute, ampa, as in the young, your good year, young Wedgema, America for ampa, you don't answer our book, Wakadamas was our chain. The book would you follow near the paper is out, baby order, not present saying, knock as a bell, or on to committee damasami, one can then up and what to committee, and for Sibian, Kakanas and what to committee, young wish you want to proceed now, or when a true, one chink of no kukakan, one one and two, if you know, or told them a look I can say, what should it be? You proceeding up to now, and also up to now. One of them what were election, or born a true damage from Yamushi MP Mua, with Janet TV do waka, went to one channel two, and I went to one cafe. MP Mua actually true, baby, what to Nina Yan country atado.
That case no crack was it.
Come ya atado. MP Mua true what to Yan country and friend because Nina Akufado or favor into any day. Because if you are young human rights lawyers, in Madame Azi, Otun can work him. Not and yet, them uncle for Kadam, a good a lawyer. Much out to a lawyer. Because a lawyer, a wabade, a father for all nation, and now Bibi the man. She had no wife, no wife. Dama, I'm afraid I wokuno or Fana Kasui. Wokun Kasui. If Pian country. Kwame Ghana econo bu true we kun free. Ekakasam na what you free. Watch it to free. Share a generous ya dama bring your bagana ya. What's a unrubbish bonnet mu o we one off we. No so I went and country. What dama some no one country or UK generalist about we one country. Nti dama yen lawyers in alphanet yen wakonan professors no ogulego no yin UCC no yin sebio kwame wo platform kesi jana nchamaka sim ya kire ibianka na ntum o man Ghana ibianka ama na ntum asofa izin asofu na anyimfo wa izin o man Ghana ibiantum be na nkasa because when ya waji azaji sheshe wona afu mama akasa. Ma was a brain and pay him or in a quarter more codo Ghana. I say a big camp can be to that, near down Pazi, if you will be any mass. This way in Gassamon or Managana. In Che or Managana, a general so far when the first one to the number one, and I'm a boy. So here to the number one. She said the number 4 was number 6. Urban done MP more gen radio do or the bini picture now within 24 hours in Pokuno. MP mu abakada mpakuno ku ameswale no o kumase apostle no man na information e bia nka wo hwe mo kamakra abi mo kamakra wo da ma asem yi ho ni JB oya akufo ado nnu o se wewu akufo ado bado ontum bo wo da ma asem yi because nsem hye suma da ma da na ofi akufo ado ni fi da adechi ya no wi nti Kwame on yen twado wo
yeah, interesting.
Oya me yo dem mo fama 3 watakrade we kidnap one yen hu up to now wakafa impinfo woni biwa we would gado was be chere we da ma mesi afuna on se me se puku
dry bones by
yes the on se me se puku me we issue because if puku ye besi and na ma asimi odo ncho odi tani they be on the program do if ya is in because if you're a lawyer ncho na ma asimi no de ye besi ncho edit onya so Ghana hono mem tie na asami Kata kwadi mesi afotre kina da fo mesi afu 2 osaze wokedi na pon wan within 3 days na won hu one time kana da fo be ya no hu ama nkofo no one time what a chill nkofo no ya akufo do na no nkofo ya no wokedi na pe kana da mesi afu yes what a chill no ya
evidence
I mean obey evidence no obey oya akufo do no boys ya onye won ye kumase macho fi one share so tigadi one wo kidnap takwa your friend a Canadian we no hata asem do Kwame entino massive okotu lawyer judge onyinsan only to one asem wakama ndu fi egoma what this security shots they you to check on that man some no hata dizin Kwame na kufa do betin someone pa ba yezibesa I know oya human rights lawyer Kwame na mabro fundamental so e be chema chemo
human rights lawyer
ka bibia akufo do se sama ta no akufo do lawyer man kan na akufo do lawyer
Samu ba wakokot be bro ni cases be bro
court okwaya court kro okwaya kufuo tumi fi azodo awokeji na what's there ga kufuo versus chachuchi kata ibi oya lawyer one kufuo twene se na pedo lawyer ninya yin na wo ise suma
all right when you know you there lawyer
yes
Amujo welcome
it's
reports I think many sure some maintaining in this city but me feel say report here US for the boy baby oh man the accident happening in Ghana this is a major issue I mean say no oh yeah and the year from penny accident they said yeah roads, especially from Accra to Kumasi, how bad it is and how people are dying every day. And it seems like everybody is so quiet about it. He said, yeah, she is, you know. Very, very, very sad. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. I'm just saying, some of my there's nothing new. Already, new kind ono oya weda da chenu wa class amanfonti ase
Kwame but the miss was no report na aka kana afa na da achichem na yepre ya kawa
aka kana mefanu se report na dos ntiase ya kan
nche ya kan there's a lawyer from once kanwa nche ya kama
lawyer wasum de na ode ya fanto as naka journalist then and come about beso but yeah journalist there no and so na
okay
judges na samana
yeah judges na
yeah judiciary na no mo say oh say betimi aka ne there judiciary na no mo say corrupt
one report no me there Ghana to Okanan, ambassador or America had or did you skip went to my account?
Hey, I heard them.
I report to him. Oh, no, so one come one come some.
Hey, and I report.
I'm reporting
Anyway,
us. What
I cover 3 minutes. Me into journalists in the part, and the judges not come on account.
And that of David Tamaklo as examples of arbitrary arrest and violence against the media. But Mr. Tobo believes these occurred because civilian authorities have a say in the deployment of security officers. To buttress this point, Mr. Tobo pointed to the absence of bad publicity on DSP Azugu, who was in charge of the SWAT team that orchestrated the Ayawaso West by-election violence, and the arrest of City News' Caleb Kuda and Zoe Abubeido Ado, following his transfer to work directly under the IGP as justification.
I can tell you as a matter of fact, if we professionalize our civilian approach to managing security, many of these security officers you see are so professional. Let me give you an example. Have you ever heard of DSP Azugu? When DSP Azugu was working with the National Security SWAT team, his name was everywhere. When he left the SWAT team, up to have you heard of his name again? Directly under the Inspector General of the Police, he cannot do the things that he was doing at the National Security SWAT team.
You think he was influenced at the SWAT team to be doing what he was doing?
I am telling you that without proper command and control, if you let a uniformed officer loose, they can do worse things. But DSP Azugu, as we speak today, cannot, I repeat, cannot do the things that he was accused of or seen doing under the SWAT team of the National Security. It tells you that let's allow the Chief of Defense Staff, let's allow the Inspector General of Police, let's allow the Director of the National Intelligence Bureau, let's allow these chiefs to have control over their men. And when we have a task, let's assign it to the rightful agency and give them the room to perform. And I'm sure that professionalism will be at the top.
The report also found prison conditions to be generally harsh and sometimes life-threatening due to overcrowding, inadequate sanitary conditions, lack of medical care, physical abuse, and food shortage. According to the report, in September, the Ghana Prison Service reported prison overcrowding stood at 135% of capacity, with a prison population of 13,480 compared to a total prison capacity of 9,945 inmates. The report indicated that the general practice of holding detainees without proper warrant or charge continued. It cited the arrest of some 21 lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or intersex activists in the city of Ho as an example. According to them, authorities released the activists on June 11 and dropped the case on August 5. The report also indicated that judicial officers reportedly accepted bribes to expedite or postpone cases, lose records, or issue favorable rulings for the payer of the bribe. The report, however, indicated that there were no reports of political prisoners or detainees. It also indicated that citizens had access to courts to bring lawsuits seeking damages for or cessation of human rights abuses.
Day, Wayfair's biggest sale of the year.
Yeah, how was it?
Yeah, bro.
Walking in, you know, then I will come for a judiciary, a journalism is passing.
Yeah, Mr. Suwoyan, General Swan Party, because no there, for the past, Fourth Republic, Jerry time and Yinim there, a general Seneca Cassa. No watch when you are actually being a will kakra. Na is money being ya, Yampo Kufu, Ma Kufu, Oberset Dama patient to there. Be able to Canadian. More pay be able to why, but in able to I shall Robama on the Dama, by be able to watch an agent more pay. Yam Papa Akufado, Nankasa Obebu Sumo Kasakasia on the Biahundo, a woman rights lawyer, Kasa ya. Nso zim na we bodu. Na Akufo Addo ndo. Nje yimde na Akufo Addo za otum oka generals fo asam won. Nje yimde na abrodo obutum generals e kase me otum ababachi. Na wanyu akọ na we lew ana wa maposifo wa bo bro. Wa security guard abo bro wo wedwum ana wa cheta wo kwem wa achi. Na Akufo Addo wa kana na atumizi dem ohun ne hwe ma okodo wo oman Ghana. We ku generals fo wo oman Ghana ameswale we ku na Akufo Addo onka ho hwe. Ombu na no nka ho hwe. Nche nyimdi bia a good lawyer ewo abada ewo dama passion one how na na pass abaza law as the one is but how na the most wickedness president atichi of an generals for you to am comfortable one yimne ncha wo na ebe yesu as am general statement how ma abada na abonsam ama omanan wal blue one why you na yekekezi na Akufo Addo tran wa ye nanyim zin bombo obi se na asema na okene sisedo na okabrofa abodai o ma se gbofo no poyanti kwame sometimes yer kasa as a passion as a kasa yo pa ye wa kasa te da bible chance na tuma kawadwen e wo ga na kawadwen a wo baba chi watu Uganda na kawadum sisia obafro wa question because all no was to paste number generous bi wo oman Ghana ibi no ozi ye fepuku wan because if people call Canadian na no nkofo no wo man stand for that ma Akufo Addo ye oman Ghana man onye ekekasa sisia obachi watu social media mpo na ekasa obo attack ado obabo bro anado obachi watu ibi no ozi ya kaka because no church no putem more kodo mo no putem wo prekope we ku boy prekope amaswale wataton no wa abu netu ibia nka wo hwe wo man Ghana akaka wo set up men kasa ya abofraba nkasa dam ba nya na ebin ya be mpinfo wa Ghana si yesu sompo nya na ebin ya be mpinfo wa Ghana nti odi yehu mo alokodo mo obay me yo de na Akufo Addo amafo penasem na obefedu na nizi no papa fi record mu wo man Ghana de obezi president wo man Ghana because we bu na mi ogunze me bebredo okodo wo man Ghana okaka o semema ye fan shaman Akufo Addo ye fan shaman ye fan ka shama ha mana mama na otodo otiti generals fa abazina mahama generals fa fanye wo he na na no ka fi yana yepe papa ina seven yakaka sepe no shouting in down yakaka sepe no shouting in down mambla my lawyers first ni you lawyers pa si say bia mbu lawyer kwa me minya sem si kwa me bia mbu lawyer bia mbu judges wagano no kwa me kacho e pia me na you interest ka e fa me mo oman Ghana na won interview ni ehwe ma mo obokodi city a ibia mbu lawyers first ni you lawyers no a judges si say yembu one young one so the normal person because what you change bribe na asam no why what kind of wope or cast more or favor one party because party no you so do so man Ghana mo kodin nche me hu de so ye what kind the whole Ghana yan kasama ana lawyer o meji na America ade na wonchi bintu won ka da man pakoro obotu obejeli wa bra mpakoro wonzi na asam ebe jeli mpakoro wa bra mpakoro nzi na asam asam wo to no do lowen bakada asam no ye no kwar no oye tri aguna wurizi na so still wo pro watch mpakoro wo nitu because akada ebe chinatu na ebe chinatu nti ebe na yezi enyizi na anyi eze kwame enyimi ya asam sisi a
ba me na mfo mo Ghana nyina so mo kolo school nti aba ne na
wo kwa infa
oya so mo kolo school
kwame oye title ne bia pedo ko because edu enyi wo man Ghana oye title
bia wo ka se lawyers any grass for Ghana. So why are they going to the law school?
And a pair, young get this car. Near the street, no one team of Mobocado.
So, Mumbetum Yamami.
Yeah, believe check for Ghana. Mammo's can I interview? A debut of Ghana be I said 2,000 years, 100 years, and Mammo's can I.
Because I haven't traveled over 30 years. You're supposed to be a
yeah, you Mobocado, my Ghana. Oh, and see, Kwame, I'm a sister, Mina Sama. You come a lawyer and I get to. Kwame, Mr. Kaman and Napatanji. Mr. Kaman to her. Mr. Kamama Mukumboso. Nia Mutopano, Mukumboso, what's that some way for day? Mutopano, Casacor. No, my boys, my boomizin. Numbers a manama's ashen. Numbers I got to Nusonodo. Now some cruise are made. Pound
I'm there no crew.
Pound on Lutu, no Sulutu. I am as my by a Jamas.
Was the bread? Was the bread?
Numbers of dash. Numbers I got to soon. I just lawyer, Pound on Luton, no Sulutu Cosson. Come and tell you, I'm in that pound as you to some too.
Yeah.
Yes. No Sulutu. Happy. This is a good lawyer and a good of no man Ghana. Was a phone CC. I was a phone. Maybe 7 hours average. Is there was a phone? It was some quarter. In percent of Bizamo. Was Kaka Bizamo. See, yen lawyer pay for fun. Enemy Yabua. Sanagin, what I'm as in Oluguninimas, or send a record of Fidel, or Yazmo with favor or be full. But they has more favor, Managana. When Yazmo favor in Pocope, the Impono Befedo, our better forever. Then we are at the Martin board and I come.
When I submit a Kanda Park, I said, we are Supreme Court. I send be a coha. Na government edin kunim so a the judges 9 better so 9 in na to my government no.
Yes.
If say nkoye and Kandapa minister.
Yes.
So I think that you know can no create something that
one man what Dama Impana Nina ye Akufa do no you one until we pay master we you never got some mama. Boy me the one winner somewhere butra. One check is we win that.
What do go home there Mary away no unti.
Away want to win. Away want to win per 7 in per 9 want to win one case. Now want to want to move about we lose. It's more back nine. In time me ya sama. Madam Kakama na napa prata.
I'm on bread.
Mama the bread. Mama the pan.
Moko from the moon.
Mopo ya.
A petition anyway. Kako there more plaza mu the cake na everybody. Say mu the bread na everybody.
Kwame bread no what that maybe nkofu him. No botun sum. Ye obaka bi wo ho. Na ma bakan. Mazapan no ko sum. Mo bodi oye adwuma.
I think to buttress your point no. I remember Kandapa dia no kaka. Because I know one will make a point. Kandapa, who is the minister, say a security threat, say.
Dire consequences on the national security of the country. In recent months, the opposition National Democratic Congress in particular has accused the judiciary of being biased against it after losing a string of cases before the courts. Now speaking during a sensitization workshop on the national security strategy for judges of the superior courts. Mr. Kandapar said, when the bench is deemed
Nana was
to be biased, citizens will continue to take the law into their own hands for personal satisfaction.
Yeah, name
the result of the absence of an effective justice delivery system, or delayed justice, or biased justice, is certainly a threat to national security. And indeed, when injustice abounds, particularly in situations where the bench, which is considered as the final arbiter of disputes, is deemed to be biased, citizens tend to take the law into their own hands, most times without recourse to the established systems of justice delivery. And similarly, the failure of the criminal justice system to ensure effective and expeditious trial of criminals adversely impact the morale of law enforcement agencies. It also emboldens criminals to perpetrate more crime and breeds lawlessness among the citizenry, developments which threaten the internal security of the state. If you are going to be able to address the security challenges that we have, especially the domestic ones, we need to be able to ensure that there is a judicial system that works. If we do not have a system, a judicial system that works, many people will simply take the laws into their own hands and misbehave and do what they want. Therefore, in trying to manage the security situation, it is important for us that we do get a judicial system that works. And we are all lucky that in the sub-region, we are perceived as a country where the judicial system works and where you could expect justice. If the interpretation of the law is tilted so much in our favor all the time, people will start accusing the judiciary and will not have the confidence that they need.
Yeah, name. Sexy. Dama bluff is our favor. Our favor. It's a miss our favor. Or yeah, judge from a word G. And you yaman another or your president no Jane Yaman. Because Kandapaka, a member and I'm over.
Okay.
And so used to word that our favor. Not a poor Bernabor. Because our example, you know, Madame E. Levy. E. Levy, the whole Ghana, 99 was the Yampe E. Levy. I judge if you could, you know, or two about yes, one gin to me there, I was possible to my tambo parliament. And see our favor being elections on a Memphis, on one summer. And send me couldn't get so although Managana in I the whole Ghana, yen gin to me then for the my Amazon. Lawyers na judges will be judging them pass or favor president and now or favor. You mean your boy, my pocho. Sagani, yenya somewhere other countries are educated me quote black book name quote will be the man quote war before we case Negina woman elabona to wait. Equa butcher and command Nekizasama, we never be free, near one day a good lawyer. Such a got to Oqua a butcher in the case. Sophia, one akufu, or two butcher in the case. You your born uncle sends Oqua butcher lose the case, but you know whom will win the case. Whom will win the case in poor win or papa. I mean, it's a matter, you mean your born answer. Because what is a situation be your one someone, Mafamata for one sound. Every I sure no one yen a doctor and pataka no any once a man the one who I would. And then your boy, yes, so you bit one of him, no one saw how would. Yen show our rubber yen yow by winning case of a man gun. What's your day?
Okay. For me, the judiciary part, I say, and then say I'm not trying investigation. And the judges are modern punching at the other. In Tigana, the perception has always been there. I think say now, Air West, Kakan, I say. Ghana on your case, no what's made the strat saying now, Missika. Okokota. Now, this can even a train of Benus. Assassin a yard there, beat me chinchim on Sanowade. Okokota, inclusive. You better off paying bribe. Now, the name could do court because of quiet so time now could be stick near there. That perception, nah, I think that Kandapa has something working in Yano. The Debia near buying your case, whether on the surface in the case, your friend who say, would you use common sense out in the case you did? A buyer crash when you're there, never court near cassette. That's always, all the time. I'm up for best at your baby. So, me, the mammy lose you a little fit over Ghana judiciary system here. So, a birth certificate. Or can say it cannot be used for identification. And none of mammy, my bamboo, and I'm sure saying most Ghanaian. Because who use common sense can crave say all the either ID cards now you creating now. And your birth set in the Mount's ID card. Who got the passport? You may be so birth set. Who got the driver's license? You may be so birth set. And the alcohol the idea. Who got the piano? Birth set in your mom. The about the alcohol to about one day I send you birth set to yeah, agree my own parents. I know the man made by Bamboo, Ghana judiciary. And I think say at this point it's very critical, say we have to start doing something about it. And for Kandapa being the minister. Somehow okay, someone for me. Action and walk off with say or Kasa against a buyer or womb crown who say necessary say we have to start talking about these things. Then I think there will be a do not know. Because to say no, would you be Kakotima police for be arrested, which is seriously illegal. Just say as a Ghana Sikana Kasa and yet justice. I say Ghana the freedom no hold by justice in any atom. Another I think Mr. Ken Akasa and I was working Akasa a lot of Ghanaians. I mean I say something has to give. It's a BBC. My crime and could do baby. I remember for ever for Ghana for no matter of misbehaving. Ghana for your misbehaving. Not once or twice. You misbehaving so many times. Into a country, no. It's only about 67 years, 60 something years. And so you work for Republic. And the church say, you did boni ukrumoda. I think say don't mamun kenya manamana boss. If you see certain things are not going well, just move quick and change it. And our citizens, so some casa. I think Mumpa.
Nancy, Lebanese in Yabo, boy be it. Other on a negative Cassan and Lebanese about Patama Bueno. Watch a boy Muabu to watching it to know what Lebanese. Mr. Case, no, I'm your rough. I mean, my yet, and I'm a girl from Inizano Concon. Our Eba pattern. I create treasure up. Mukoko report here. Watch I'm when you match. Oko court. Na, judge you can, oh, that must mean one jam when it be in your own coffee. But in Polly Cade, Nana will be in a Wako hospital. A court as woman a Benici in Chimpo. Kwame, one casa bueno. It's a Ghana, ye safe. Ye safe, woman Ghana. Ye safe. Serious, ye safe.
All right, let's move to our last topic. About 25 minutes after discuss. This is a very important discussion. I think you have discussed it once or twice, maybe more than once, twice or three times. Hey, decentralization, I can't catch it. Seventy Sunyania, the DC here, or no, you're the president of Sunyania. No one finds some nice and select the side. And a DC, so any party media and a party media. This year, Nipa, Kumofunia, you feel it. You found no better now, on be a partisan, on be far away, and I have any. Well, look at what the national government is going through. Say, party politics are dear, my intimate now you a small town, I say, I DC, you know, so I perceive a 2 Abaman as well. Most say, I'm papa, Sama, Frafrema. And I was about no my to still have my president. Last 4 years, our last election was supposed to be part of the ballot, but we free. You can say yes, a referendum. But another swap for that. Obviously, some status our conversation. Although they still are in favor, say, Yama politics, embryo, Kenyan NDC, MPP. You know, but he's still open. Say, we'll be teeny better. So let's listen from the horse's own mouth.
Was and continues to be my view that the repeal or modification of an entrenched clause of the Constitution should attract widespread support to make it acceptable and healthy for the body politic. We should further bear in mind the strong attachment of the Ghanaian people to multi-party democratic elections. On the average, the turnout for national elections in the Fourth Republic has been 72%, one of the highest in the world, whilst the turnout for the allegedly non-partisan local government elections has always hovered around 30%. I've said it before, and I'll repeat it. I will continue to work for an extensive national consensus on this issue. And should such a consensus be attained for the repeal of Article 55, Clause 3 of the Constitution, and an agreement reached for political parties to participate in and sponsor candidates for election to district assemblies. At any point during my remaining tenure of office as President of the Republic, the matter will be brought back again to the front burner of our public discourse for the necessary action. I'm hoping that after completing the necessary consultations, I will shortly be in a position to announce a way forward on this important matter.
And I was
Yeah, Nick.
I tell you,
Yeah, I'm a taper. My president, Nen Makakan. Nen Makakan of Pro Church. US for the report about the Wintum and Kawasan. As Yabodo Yaka, or not the do general no general. In the word about Opera Orchestra.
Also, guy, he's still open for conversation. See,
Yeah, I mean, I did do a be at open at one. Or the bell be at all. Now, baby, it's an agent there. Yan and the politics, no one agent, let's say the boy as some not to it. The boy no one I can. The banner kind to President Denmark can no plot church. As some papa or Dorka, US who have as Rama reports about who a offender, ambassador to US. When you are accountable, one find to US citizen. No report in Tumbe one anchor. Dama DC Yasemi. How could soon the Mosati or Kadamas, Moyenda? How could soon the Rosama? No way into the Guna bank. How could soon the no plan of Alpha, no way there's a Guna bank. Then no can. No, Alacasa. Nah, I'm standing, I was standing. Okay, can this do no couple of I go for the year buffing your boy. Yale catch on your brofone, your boy, or Managana. I bet no, Asha African wear, Asha white. Nay, Cassa, if you there, and your present more Managana view. Yale catch no. Wouldn't look a cow. Ah, then I is assuming Telebekimpo, introduced to them, my jatum. Then a phone call to a man when you be a whopper. Beyond the yes, a good president. Still major and agina. Come on, Kebi. I can't now also when you charge it. When you charge it, because it's your man paying rough or your papa tempia. Yes, number four rough. That's a maca that rough. Yama from garbage. I will to catch and that. Don't be stupid. And I can't remember what.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly.
Don't be serious. Don't be stupid. Yeah, I seen it, no, into me and Cassa. By your catching book again, I was I isn't at them, or here I'm brain. By any book about you, so you got yellow. Oh, you've been doing what Trump, but my president reckon President, you're a catcher. Women may in the youngest MMDCE. Mamma on your politics. Mamma in your politics. Nayankasa, you get to what once DC in some, say 1% and as ammo. I mean, chair, if you're district button. HS cabinet as I'm a district in a dama every year, I'm a district in Damaski. What did you one scassa? Oh, okay, 1% and then can 1 for input to Juma. I mean, yet I'm not called America. America, road the Bia Papa. Road the Bia go to America. And you want to know America. A kaka was America is 300 years. And the Yankamagan in 20 years and son, Yakagana some. The Nakupado, the catcher wouldn't make a cow. Now pay could be as in the moon neck, what's a student like a brofen. That must be bogus. Young Jintum. Can America full report was urban. Can want some.
Dave, what this is reporting the India wants some county useless report.
Oh,
was also a no
I but of Faline blood rebellion useless or what I'm reporting them. Who a offended America MZ 1 on account, I went to my accountant. I was just blah platform the back or yes, I am because some report no was about to work. We shooting Kofu 9 and now EU or Ghana. We come swale, we kaka. We can go for Ghana. Let it's now butcher and a kid or you useless report. Coming. No, American, you be with different abandon because on Adama Banoin, Bokuna Babu or in a Babuchi. Yet, you can see a sovereign, a Babuchra. Yet, two young fit. You boot at engine when you would have Buchra. Ya come here, blow fee. Come here, it may be as you could see. It may be fee. And to me, can I eat from coffee? As you could feel. I mean, it's the young president, then look a can. No, all a casa. I mean, yeah, model Macanamaca, because all my Ghana for your water here now. The Bobunizin. Maybe I'm a cousin Nakufado. Jasmine Bozin, a crat to Kumasi. Jadamo Road, first Kawak in your fair Damo Road. Fire a crat, a kipos to a craft, net jack. Bunko for Bozin. But I was run a couple of giant for Morocco. Come members about Sanaki.
David saying Kofu be American to do Ghana.
Different and Nakufado. Catch an umbrella.
A comment no maybe I live Facebook comment and I say a YouTube comment on my pin back no. If you click on it, you get access to come on maybe about the chicken because an hour is so no you're doing. But I also call us and say, okay, so you do matter.
And I can't move.
Maybe an Ejumano untimimba so
now. Ghana would do. Come in that, but when I went to Castle Fonda, Motu Saku Bia. Yes, Ghana would do is the platform of Rebecca. You pray Ghana, you pray man Ghana, I affect there. I said you, a crumple, especially how your road and the cake. Come, I pay Ghana when you Ghana road. No one jet Bibia Bokodo man Ghana. Because if a road or a network, no what's in his car. And I can't remember
them
road network in the Scabba because a trivia, no road in Yoguda, a cup of Brazil with Fuma, a rubber straight. A book of coolness why a rubber straight. On Jay, we do now, or to talk to I am power of accreditation.
Oh, Mauno Chella, and I was saying there. You brought and I'm the women, so I got it.
And the which match right back or your bogus. Oidema, as your Oidema, it took. I mean, it took and we show. I wear the say you by the wolf word. By no to do. No other from couldn't the one who couldn't. I just became a wicked, but couldn't wear and camp for Conibio. Them the US why I'm a hand.
What's in there, Ghana in the Hannah dream, but say US for the rabbit churches are reporting and the other bracket.
And the one on Chino.
I said like first a professor law Casa and say Ghana for Mumne Kanye US for the Mukaya Fadi.
I mean, Ghana for Yaka, rid of the Yankee, Akufa daughter.
Okay,
1 minute to say it to crew now, eh? And you shoot, there's a wolf or they could know. My people know too well, you know why could no boo. Young way couldn't him. Let it go. Now, you will continue.
Okay, really, Mammy, double advocate. David says 70 bit mine, okay. Now, US phone, do a crew man. Woman who kinds of cocoon be there. So, woman who kinds of cocoon be there. Now, to crew man out before. Never before a war Ghana, now they would be calm for pen and paper now. Now, David Pesoche. And I David Meboa. Moi, a coup de social now, Umpena, go to the Unifrio. All right. Dave Akasa. Anyway, Mammy, me posso catra. Me mum there. It's a decentralization. Say, a bambi. And a better Ghana presidency, and yeah, he need. And yeah, bambi, the better not crap. Don't know dictate how I'm supposed to live my life in Sweden. And I say, a baby think no, tell me how I'm supposed to live my life in Laura. And I say, Boko. And I say, Yendi. And we say, yeah, it's a we have to be responsible for our own town. Now, it takes the people within Chrono and a Crony. So, every town has to be responsible. In the 90s and the late 80s now, the government talked about it, said we should decentralize. Let Sunyani take care of Sunyani. Nearby person, Afibia or the command, a dear tax in a child. Fair no come by Mumu. So the DCE of your friends, the MCE of Sunyani East to Sunyani West should take care of Sunyani West. And was say yen na ye to aba na ye yino. Na ye man be ye de ye pay. Because it's your taxes and man for assembly. Normally we have to decide what we want. And yes, a baby never tra a Jubilee House. No, a dictating choir, I say, Sunyani first. Yes, the national agenda must go on. Highways, any, and there, so on. But I was saying that the church is sick and they decided what you want to do. And for that to be done and to be done well, I will say I choose your leaders. Now, I understand. The president's suggestion, and as a president, on the angle, they say, I will say you talk about Ghana. I about NDC, me MPP, me CPP, no, I'm for Muhunjim. I am out for Antonio Dodo. Or say, Ushima, say, we are assemblymen, anyway, we are more elections. Nipa baby, I bet 30% pay. And therefore, by your two about MPP, NDC, you Muhunjima, Nipa baby 70%, one of the highest percentages in the world. And that's it. You know, freely say the MPP, NDC, Jima, a bear active to battle door the work of Twaba. I understand, but see, the whole point is not the battle door the work of Twaba. And your fanfare of election on the AFA, and the building of the township, and I share. So we want people that we think represent us in a representing. If you unko for campaign because what support to or party financial only any idea about governance, only any idea about management. He doesn't know anything about town planning. He doesn't know anything. It's Ghana planning a cities abasa. There are no open spaces. Parks. Na adebachi ni aton sazo ha nsuo kra etin ton asase. Because aban so the friends and of our, and we don't want that. I think we are way past that. It's near pen say, give us the chance to vote for people we want to come in. What's what you say? But Oprah say parties in John Hugin. And then Nana, we know when you know what? Why don't you let us vote on that issue? You vote on the issue, say a person party for your Mujim and last about party for the form. Now you hear what Ghana for better. Yeah, bro, with MPP, political parties, you did much from 1960 up to now. Adia modem who be Jim Biano, modem corruption, but nepotism, wow, buying. Money, we are now for some money crowd to me. We don't want the same for ourselves. We don't want MPP. Now, check. We perform them who join the parties. Because there are strings attached to them. I don't person me problem to me because of Muslim. So why don't you allow us to choose people that have no strings attached to them? and then we give them the mandate. Say, hey, Sunyani I vote amawi. Ya paying. Yes, our rivers, the Great River Tunnel. They say I had an stream because ya encroachama. I say, chronim monsoon. The Sufufu is almost gone. You be a walk from when na places are parks near you, but no be a papa. We want people that have no political strings attached to them. And you say, be our mark of donating internet, president saying so, and I say, party being some people are, it means, I mean, when you talk about my towns, and there are a lot of learned people, smart people that come from around that area. They could be MCs, they can help the town actually grow, and they will be solely responsible to the people, not to the party. The party could but the responsibility is near to party because party never buy. But if anybody from Sunyani, it's me right there, Bayes, I'm able to man near the mandate nation inside the MC. He's solely responsible to us. After 4 years, when in a Juma year, we sack him and bring somebody else. The friend of the term 2 years, 3 years, or in a Juma year, we impeach that person if the law permits. Therefore, Fraba, because in your break. So, and your president being a war, a cry and a way you need to know, you be able to Canasa. And your NDC for the dinner bent to know, we MPP Nina, be here, and fan of him because so cry one to a man. It is a Ufini said, I don't think, say, don't want about to abandon me here. I don't think that's what is the most important. The most important thing is the independence of the person that is going to be in the helm of affairs and his responsibility to the town, the city that he's in charge of. I think that's more important to us than the petty party politics. At time, for how long? What have we gained from it? Corruption, nepotism, forced imprisonment, murder. Just a name would you call throughout the 10 commandments. Bonnie will be a party politics. Here for macho. That's in the Mayu be a with the president, more party politics. And corruption with the Munian or a bufferman, let the towns take care of themselves. And I was it will be useful for
Yeah, bro. I can because yeah, for that my impojema broche for that broche for young contester. In the business name is able to those are called town or the development was a one or Koboa.
Oh, yeah, when you probably brave or Ghana, was it?
Number King, I will be champo, Eloquagan, and Pobakacha, a citizen, while the chance went to an info, but you
were. No, another man can't harm me. But Coco baby to say Cape Costa, and you go to the secondary school, sir. Your teachers be your millionaires.
Debbie,
you will be all your Duma assembly who are on your millionaire, will be the business to be on your millionaire. Obusu wa school. Enim how you the coding man within 4 years of better around.
Yeah.
But because on physical and support to party, they are going to
very true.
No, the party, Semno Abenamwa na Omasi. I heard nobody as the national the nation itself. Now you teach Suma, yes, you and your freedom Kakadia building a one. What is the
Debbie. So common assembly yampo was the real practice. Common assembly was the real practice. Into video was the real practice and son gun why here. Now for the maintenance that's an impact on what to know so you want we dimpa as not in Padodo and in Padodo or to way or they in NDC.
Now the door now, I walk to about that day in here. Anyway, now that's 1 minute. I betcha.
Mechia, Madasa Kwame, in the MBI program, I'm successful. Ibibiala, Yakase, one Kuyam and on French. Sometimes I command Obadama, I saw that because in the on some fata, ne, is it seeding? See, some my Yaka one you bidden on French. Ne, Michia Mukum for Cape Coast, London Bridge, Micho Bibia or you go, Yawazoyi, you go for. Yes. Goya koto, a koto jojo yebu yintano, a yo guardian no granny ubi. Eh, as a bayobi. Kwame.
I have to the Umete history now.
Oh, Kwame, Mr. Matroma history no lokodo. I'm sure in Jamalapa, the Banam with you. In terms of Mamma French. You goya koto. I be said, you goya koto, a koto jojo yebu yintano. Edison on Yapim Koya appearing to me, and a yo guardian no granny ubi. Okay, maybe any bayobi. Yen wa. Yen say you wa. You put ya you one more code of pay. At I say, it's grapho, which me take one. Na Michia Modoye, about 12 minutes to say, or Ramun Crown, or some more day, for some of the day. But that's no Michia
fighting for the nation.
Oh, Michia. Michia freedom fighters na Michia my boss Abel Moshe expect to next week.
How can that squad no?
Wanna
Abel Moshe squad.
Me your common sense leader. I'm not me of fire. The vice president. Me a vice president of fire. Michia for the purpose no my brother over him from Po. Hanson, brother Hanson, baby will be now on the chill.
The city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, Chicha. Nana, yes, man. My boss will prepare. Nizins and Nana, yes, man. Matana Musa. On what Chama Honzi, I'm to me, young ones of draws. Oh, David is a veteran agent. Next week, now, Abba, everything. Yeah, more effort. You are a cabo, maybe answer. For the purpose, salute. Name, Madasi.
All right. Now,
hey, let me share Wafa. Next, Mabado. Wafa. Yeah, Tuesday, Maba.
It's all bit different, no microphone. Because this is the fourth time we've gone.
Yeah, by now, one of our form will share as American. Nam Pramabadam better than Damas could know what's for couple boys are now there. Oh, yeah, boys could have for couple boys, right?
Right, I don't throw boys school.
Yeah, me not for couple boys because one of the old school or kept saying for couple boys. Yeah, and so I can't I don't charge account, but it's okay. I nice program, but you be and kitchen. And I walk us up. In Ghana, the DJ was no yawa, and he no more to Mukuno as a pattern.
The name Guas, Yama Chrononym Guas there.
That's a book.
So much the bribe, Ama.
And Chakufa the Yamu Guasi, not your second as I will be.
Oh, but it's interesting. Yeah, history now, yeah, can't about people are no more and sana Goku's and now Ghana better than Ghana now. They are totally different from you.
Serious.
Because Anna was everything. Said the new was a party and
I hear to me, Sano. Come on.
Oh, here's what I can't say, Mamma. You're sitting to our son. I'm Okuno. Hey, in Emre. Or no,
I'm more the day now before I copy no. I can't some lesser citizen before I be. No, I resign.
Yep.
Then I buffer no bush thing and inch.
Ours, your man assignment. Okay, assignment for do war. Your mom assignment. They just kill themselves. Say assignment so much money and no point.
Welcome.
In Emrim, minister. Ordinance action, Queen woman, and some who deny and quite was in your one.
Also, no.
All results, all resign.
A nice program for Bianca about Bob history. And it is in a trot tour. And to my choice, but my record as a tour. Now, I see, yeah.
Okay, Facebook page, it's my head. Dr. Anna already na yours faithfully. Wafa any kwame ya chechi ni ya debate kaka na yo farm payinfo bi a muti amamra ase jankitia munyina eba no mu bekebi a very very nice program until Tuesday 7 o'clock sharp between sharp and
kwame imazo ya mwa wo program wa Dr. Olkasa onya butel chechi onpo no ya mwa no Otoba chechi Charlie.
Doctor Okachia Brofun Frau.
Serious dog Yamisha Rati. Yamisha no wonderful. Chechi my fedodo.
And on Fridays, variety show by my way. China, Yamia Duma this year. And Allah be cool. Sister Kia, myself and Capito, Dr. Bakus here, and I was a woman out to be comfort but always in the audience. Friday, Mr. Shadow. And this Thursday, number ABR, Tuesday, about now to send it to my Mara, making my home. Manjama home is so ABR. Yebisha, quite be also a better. See, Yamia Doma. Same time next week, Tuesday, Yebisha. Or chance of Friday, Yebisha. Mama shout out, quick one. Our loyal listener. Number one, Mama aware, Dr. Ernest Nanayao. I'm not done pray. Dr. Bafu Zino. Oh, he need deep Dr. Ernest Nanayao, I'm not done pray.
Name that the park, Oya Hina.
Minimum.
Oya Hina, Papa.
Jordan Nana, Doctor.
Yeah. Oya Hina Kasa. Oya Hina Kasa. And then my I shall the picture, should you know? I was a picture of the day. And Hina Kasa. What a share, yes, yet.
Wow. Okay. And shout out to Lionel Gabriel Usijo. Thank you very much. And now by time. William Birch is your son child view. And after Trevor Jackson. Thanks for showing up all the time. Always here commenting. And after Trevor Dawas the part. I'm not about Christmas here, bro. Sheila Amaju Adamson, thank you very much. Every time there are sooner time, but now Baba have a shower drink, come. Emmanuel G as usual. Nana was that's the usual suspect in Hajiamu.
Jamaica Haji was something. Sergeant to Mamba, but I'm from Haji and Bisrab and so went to Mamba.
Haji,
yeah, but from one for one. Yam bone.
Hey,
Haji, it's you.
Oh, yes, it. Oh, Nana.
Yeah, for the purpose. Yeah, the purpose.
You wish, and the Mumbai.